My name is Kelsey Meredith Adams, and I work at WNO Supplying Company. I'm a Human Resources Manager's Assistant.
When Kelsey was in high school, she started working at various after-school things. She was the manager for the volleyball team. She was in a typical Girl Scout troop and was able to do a lot of independent things with other girls, like training to be camp counselors, and she worked a lot at Smile Camp, which was a camp for kids with disabilities. She actually got to be a director of Smile Camp. And so she experienced a lot of volunteer opportunities. She went to high school and she did all the things you do in high school. She went after school for tutoring, she had horseback riding lessons, did a lot of dance. So she had a lot of social experience with lots of other people.
Working at high school, inside a guidance office where I helped my guidance counselor, Lori Owens. And I did it, and I continued on more at the University of North Florida's campus.
We were very fortunate when she was getting ready to graduate from high school that the ARC Academy, which is a partnership between the University of North Florida and the ARC Jacksonville, created a post-secondary college experience for people with developmental disabilities. And Kelsey was accepted into that. People with developmental disabilities are incorporated into the fabric of college life. They audit classes, they join clubs.
We have a huge social mentoring program where we have UNF students from various majors that come in and create one-on-one friendships with their students.
By going to something like that, she got to have that experience that most of us do of going out and not being in a structured school setting like you are in high school. At 8 o'clock you have to be in this class, and 10:10 you eat snack. She got that experience of, okay, how do you plan your day?
There were workshops on budgeting and transportation and social skills.
We also have an independent living program, which is off campus, where our students live with other UNF students, and the UNF student acts as a peer mentor and teaches activities of daily living skills and facilitates community inclusion.
We teach them very quickly to use the bus system around here to get to their classes. Then we expand that to the greater Jacksonville area with the public transportation system.
That's the hardest part as parents, is letting people go out and make mistakes. And I think the beauty of the on-campus transition program was you make the same kind of mistakes everybody else does in college. You oversleep, you forget to take a test, you're not always polite, you're not always perfectly dressed. But you have people that call you on it and say, you know what, this is how it is in life, and how you can make mistakes and correct them and move on.
And we see tremendous growth in their self-determination.
They learn it through experiential learning. They don't learn it because we've taught them in the classroom over and over, and they don't necessarily learn it through worksheets. They learn it by going out there and doing it.
Kelsey always had 2 or 3 different interests and things she'd like to do for a job.
Students are hooked up with one of our work readiness mentors and employment specialists and engage in the career counseling process.
I have had several jobs where I worked in an office at student government. I worked at the Child Care Development Research Center.
There were a lot of opportunities kind of getting you ready to be out in the world.
Our employment specialists will work with the VR counselor as well as other job coaches within the ARC Jacksonville, in ensuring that we're finding a student not just any type of paid employment opportunity, but we're finding something that gears them towards an actual career.
She has aunts and uncles who work in an office, an aunt who's in human resources, another one who's a manager of a company, and she had worked in offices. WNO had approached the ARC Jacksonville saying, we need someone in, we have a human resources project. And they talked to Kelsey about it and said, look, this is what you've been doing in student government, you've been doing these kinds of things. Is this something you'd be interested in? And she said, yeah, and came to interview and loved it, thought it would be a great job. As she experienced different things at UNF and through the OCT program, she was able to say, oh yeah, I'd like to explore this and see if this is something I'd like to do. So it was sort of a natural evolution.
We are going green in our company and doing our very best, and our HR department was kind of one of the last people, and I had a hard time letting go of my personnel files, but we decided that that was something that had to be done this year, and we determined that probably 3 or 4 months would actually be all that we needed, somebody to come in and scan. So we reached out, we got Kelsey from ARC, and she's been wonderful, and we saw that the job was going to be completed, and we didn't want to let Kelsey go.
Yeah, I was excited.
Kelsey works for us in many capacities. She still cleans out files for me and gets them prepared for scanning.
I put them inside the scanner, which is throughout a computer, and I put them in the machine, and it makes like a buzzing sound when it goes through. You put like a little small check mark, and then you go to complete and you press that.
She puts stuff in alphabetical order for me. She put my I-9 folders together. She does shredding.
The thing about the shredder is you can not stick too much in there, like when it's really thick and it has lots of staples and paper clips. That could cause a serious paper jam.
We're hoping that pretty soon she can start doing some regular filing for us for the accounts payable department.
I also am going to be learning how to deliver mail from our warehouse up to the people upstairs and downstairs.
Kelsey takes criticism well. She wants to do a good job. Everybody has worked well with Kelsey because she makes herself so well liked.
It's been terrific for a lot of different reasons. A high quality employee, reliable employee, happy employee. Kelsey's been terrific. The influence she's had on everybody and in terms of her attitude and commitment to the company. And when you think about things you want in employees, you want good morale, you want reliability, and you want productivity. And Kelsey's been all of those and then some.
I spend my paychecks and money on my personal trainer for fitness, my transportation to get me here. I also pay my parents for rent.
And there's a lot more discussion about, okay, what are you going to do for this? What are your plans? Instead of, this is what you're going to do, kind of retraining yourself to say, okay, what are your plans for this week and how are you going to make them? And that was good because I'm not sure we would have crossed that bridge very easily if she hadn't moved out of the house.
Some of my money goes to Club Art, which is like a club. It's an easygoing, kick-back, relaxed, easygoing place to see my boyfriend there. I also joined Weight Watchers. I've learned so much that I've lost 10 pounds.
It's been an absolutely unexpected joy for her to work in a place that is so encouraging. They're happy for her to be here. They're happy to challenge her. They'll tell her when she's not doing the job right and they'll make her do it over, just like everybody else when you have your first job.
It's been a terrific thing for us, and I think for her.
Feels awesome.